Well, welcome everyone to 180 U-Turn, the talk show that features some of the greatest conversion stories of our time. Stories of men and women who are on the highway to hell when they had an encounter at a Damascus Road event that completely turned their lives around. Hello everyone, I'm Steve Savant, and today I'm broadcasting live from the Life Change Center in Sun City, Arizona, a Christ-centered recovery facility for alcohol abuse, drug, and sexual addictions. For more information on their rehab services, weekly meetings, and special events, just check out their website at gwparizona.org. That's gwparizona.org. And don't forget, if you want to write me, I'm happy to take your calls, and I love the verses you guys send me. They're always great verses, I gotta say. And you can write me at steve@180uturn.com. That's steve at 180youturn.com, and I'll do my best to answer it as timely as I can. On today's show on 180, we're featuring our third episode with Nancy Bricci's story, and it's a story that is just it's a little different than what we normally do on our show, but this is where we're going to get into today because the first two episodes set you up. There's so many people searching for the Lord, so many people going through all these things, whether it's dope, sexual promiscuity, doing the tour of major religions. Everybody's into their little search, and God, the hunger in the human heart is made. We were made to seek out God. We were made to find out the truth. So today, in our show today, we're going to talk about this is your time. You're almost ready at the front end of this to become a Muslim, right? Yeah. I mean, you're going to do it. So you're ready to go, and you're going to the mosque to have this event with your friend, right? And something happens, your friend can't accommodate you on that Sunday.
Yeah, I was.
Or was it Sunday or Saturday?
It was Sunday. Yeah, I was working. Prior though, before that actual Sunday of when I was ready to do the full witness conversion, the week before, my Christian friend was like, "Nancy, let's go to church today." And I was like, you know what, I'm just going to say yes to her just to get it over with, because by that time I already graduated high school and she was still asking me to visit her church. I was like, let me just say yes to get it over with and she won't bother me anymore. So I ended up visiting her church that Sunday.
Does she have any idea that you're doing this, seeking the Islamic faith?
No, she had no idea of my depression, all the secret things I was doing to myself, nothing. Nobody knew. And so I went with her, and it ended up being a Slavic church where they preached in Russian or Ukrainian and sung songs in Russian and Ukrainian.
In America?
In America. Okay. Yes, right in Massachusetts.
Wow.
And so because my friend, she was Ukrainian, so I visited her church, and she was translating to me, and I was quite in shock of the service. They preached 3 times, and all 3 times had something to talk about in regards of what was going on in my heart.
So all three sermons spoke to some aspect of where your heart was at.
Yeah, rather it was about peace, that God can heal, or if it was about Muslims becoming Christians. And even the songs as well. She wouldn't translate to me, but I would be crying to all the songs that they were singing.
And they knew nothing about you?
Nothing.
So when these sermons are coming, they're coming...
Yeah, they said I looked like one of her family members, and and that they never met.
Oh, so they just assumed you're part of it?
No, just my friend knew me, and that was it.
So I find it fascinating always. You have 3 sermons, speaks to your heart, right? And there's 3 areas right there. Did you find that to be astonishing?
I was amazed. I was in shock. And I never cried at all when I was going to masses. Never.
So, I find another... well, go ahead. I don't want to interrupt you.
Oh, so that's what amazed me, because I was in church and I'm hearing about Jesus and all this stuff, and I'm like, how could it hit me? It was never like that in masses all my growing up. So I was,
Well, another thing that really sparks me is they're singing songs in Russian. You don't know anything that's going on. And I find the ability sometimes for the Holy Spirit to translate, maybe not the language itself, but the emotion, the feeling, the God is here, God is doing something, even though I'm not cognitively aware of it.
Yeah, it was a message towards me.
I think I find that fascinating, the whole thing, Now, of course, your friend is translating this for you, right? As it's going on.
Yeah, sitting right next to me, translating right into my ear.
And she had a pretty good, was she fluent in English?
Yeah, well, yeah, she was fluent in English, yes. And she understood Ukrainian the most, but also Russian very well.
And so there's a distinction in those languages.
Yeah, 2 different languages.
Okay, yeah. I don't want to make anybody unhappy.
Yeah.
Don't want to get those emails.
2 different cultures.
Okay. And in your experience, but you're still convinced, even though this has occurred, you're still going to try to go forward with your conversion to Islam.
I left the service and I was like, that was quite the experience, but I'm still going to become Muslim. Nothing's going to change that.
Okay, nothing's going to change that. I just love the word where, people go, nothing's going to change my thinking. It'll never happen. I'm in concrete on this. I'm solidified in my thinking. I love that in my view is the human daring God to do something.
Yeah.
Right?
Basically.
Basically. So the following Sunday now, aren't you going to try to go to the mosque?
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
The following Sunday I was at work again, and I was staying at the cash register with a thump in my heart. Today is a day, Nancy, you're going to find God. And again, my plans, I'm going to become Muslim. That's how I'm going to find God. So I went and right away texted my Muslim friends, like, hey, can I go to the mosque today and do my conversion? And she said no, I had to wait because they were all at a wedding. So I had to wait the next day for that.
Okay, so that deferral, right?
Yeah.
Became God's interference.
Yeah, as I look at it now, yeah.
Yeah, okay, so now you're not going there, now what?
No. Now, well, I still wanted to hear something about God. And so this time I decided to actually text my friend and say, can I go to church with you?
Okay, this is your first time telling her you want to go.
Last time, she would always ask me. That was before. That day I was like, no, this time I'm going to ask her.
Okay, so she said, of course, yes.
Yeah, of course.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you guys went to church. Tell me what happened.
Well, again, everything straight to the core and hit everything inside of me. Everything, all the concerns of my heart, and again about Muslims becoming Christians, what would happen to them. Everything again, just crying the whole service. 3 sermons, all the songs, prayers, everything. Just
okay. Now just before this service, of course, your head is still want to become a Muslim, but your heart is being opened up by the Spirit of God in these meetings.
Yeah.
And now, I actually in one of your pre-interviews, you said you're more confused now than you were before.
Yeah, I was confused after that. After the service, I became so confused. But the thought, wait, they don't believe Jesus is the Son of God? Although I already knew that because I publicly said I didn't care. Publicly I said it's fine that they just, accept him as a prophet. I was okay with that before. But in that meeting, in that service, I realized, wait, they don't believe he's the Son of God. I'm in trouble. Right away, I just knew I was in trouble. And then I didn't know what to do. So.
It's funny, one of my corporate friends said to me one time in an exchange of sharing, he says, Steve, you're making Jesus more important than the words he says. And I said, exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying. It's not only what he says, and they're all good things, of course. I'm a red letter gospel guy. But honestly, yes, it's him. Yeah. It's him. It's not just his good sayings. He's not just a good prophet. Yeah. It's him. So when you went through this, and now you're confused, and you went to go talk to the pastor.
Yes. So after the service, I actually ended up breaking down before my friend and telling her everything inside of my heart. That I was troubled, I was depressed, I was all of this stuff. So all my years I was shut in. Don't tell anyone anything. But in that night, I broke down in front of her and told her everything.
Do you think we hold things in because we're going to feel like people will look at us in a negative way or judge us, or maybe we're not really very good people?
I believe lots of times it's because of that, and then also just because you're scared. You don't know what they're going to do with your words. You don't know if they're going to actually really care or not.
And to risk them not caring is worse than sharing.
Yeah.
I totally get that. I've been in prison for almost 16 years now. I've seen that all the time. The risk is huge. Okay, so when you prayed with him, were you actually praying for salvation at that time, or you were just praying to get through the day?
So Sula, so my friend, she didn't know what to tell me. She didn't know how to counsel me through it. So she said, hey, Nancy, there's my pastor. If you want, you can talk with him. And I said, yeah, I need to talk to someone about God. I need to talk to somebody about all these things. And so he nicely agreed to sit down and listen to what I was going through. And so with my friend, sat with him, and the amazing thing is that this was a Slavic church, but the main head pastor was Polish, and he spoke perfect English, no need a translator. He understood everything clearly, and it was just, I was amazed by that. And he asked me simply, Nancy, what's your name? Well, he didn't say Nancy, he just said, what's your name? Because he didn't know my name. And said, what's going on? How can I help you? And I clearly told him. I was like, I'm trying to find God. I come from the Catholic background. I know he's not there, and I'm thinking become Muslim. He just said, stop talking. You're headed for destruction. Just listen. And
well, I'm sorry, but when he said that, did that take you aback, or no? You were afraid.
It brought me to silence. I was like, wait, what? In my destruction? Like, I never thought of that. Like, what? So it brought me to straight silence. I didn't feel like offended or anything. It was just like, what? Like, just.
Well, because you said that other thing too, because you're saying, hey, I just found out that Jesus isn't God. Islam is one thing, that he's a prophet, but he's not the Son of God.
Yeah.
Now you're finding out, this way you're on the road of destruction.
Yes, that was two things that are just, whoa, for me in the moment. And after that, he started to share and testify about his life, and started to throw Bible verses at me. And once the Bible verses started coming out, I just couldn't stop crying. And by the end of talking, he was like, Nancy, let's pray.
Well, let me stop you there. You're hearing Bible verses basically for the first time in your life.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Yeah.
So when these verses, this is why people always say to me, Steve, especially in corporate America, it's a book, it's written by men, it's just a collection of, good, pithy platitudes, it's kind of, it's parables, but the Bible is life and truth. And when it's spoken, it speaks to you. Yeah. And, it awakens your heart to things. And I always tell our people that are listening, listen, if you're not putting your time in the Word, you have to do it. Because you're just going to be talking about your opinions, just your thinking. And the Word is so powerful that it can actually minister and change people's lives.
Yeah.
All right, well, listen, I want to head for our conversion for tomorrow and talk about how this whole thing went down, plus how this kind of revolutionized your life. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, for more information, again, we're broadcasting from Life Change Center, and if you want any information on their rehab services, weekly meetings, or special events, just hop out to their website at gwparizona.org. That's gwparizona.org. So until next time, I'm Steve Savant, and remember, no one's outside the reach of God. No, not one.